Hello and welcome to today's Lol Esports Power Rankings, the second in the year. We did one 12 days ago, maybe 12, 13 days ago, and I'm updating it now. I would like to do it once a week, but kind of just figured that today, with no games in the four major regions, it was a good spot to do it. Still kind of undecided when I want to do it going forward. With the LEC playing Mondays, part of me wants to wait till maybe Monday evenings. I wanted to do Sunday, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. And at the same time, with the LEC schedule being all over the place, it's going to be, going with the flow. So we'll try and work this out with the schedule changes. If you need to turn up the mic, I did move the mic back so I had more room to write on the board. So if it is quieter, that is why. Last time, there were three teams on this list that aren't there anymore. Thunder Talk, OMG, XL. Thunder Talk, I've disowned. My guilty pleasure is no more. I'm learning that Wanfeng may had something to do with the fact that Lucas is on this team. Means Lucas probably doesn't go anywhere, and Lucas coupled with Hoya is pretty scary because Hoya is a former teammate of UCal. So Thunder Talk may be doomed. OMG struggled. They were in the bottom part of my power rankings anyways, so them getting booted out made sense. And XL have really, really struggled. They barely beat BDS. Arguably, they shouldn't have. So they are out of my top 25. They look awful. So, first things first, 25th, a newcomer to the list, formerly an MSI team from a minor region, Red Canids. Red did very well in their two games, being Team ITZ and Los Grandes. Los Grandes, one of the teams that in CBLOL are projected to be towards the top at the end because they spent a lot of money and got a few imports. But Red win. Some people may say, why is a minor region on here? Minor region teams are going to be on here. And if you remember, Loud did, play competitively at Worlds. So CBLOL is not a slouch anymore. Is it up here? No, but it can take games off of teams that go to Worlds from major regions, even if it is Western region. So you should respect that. Not to mention, even like you think of LJL, DFM took a game off of RNG, right? And some say, oh, well, it's just one game. Well, the fact of the matter is, a lot of people think these regions are like literally in the basement and over the grand winning percentage scheme. Sure, but they can take games off of better teams. So they do fit in there in a best of one scenario. 24th, dropping 5 spots, are DRX. DRX have looked awful. Really bad. I'm sure some people would make a case that they shouldn't even be on here. But I do think DRX losing 2-0 to Dplus KIA and Gen.G are not like the worst losses. It's not like they're losing to bad teams. They're losing to pretty good teams. Gen.G obviously not what they were last year yet, per se, and we'll get to them. They're newsflash, spoiler, Gen.G are still in the top 25. So the way I view this, if you're new to the channel, the power rankings, if you're losing to teams up here and you're here, you're already not there, right? I already considered them not as good as those Worlds contending teams that are going to be there at the end, at least from like this perspective that's literally in Fantasyland 9 months ahead of time. Like, this is not indicative of squat when it comes to November. I think people trying to like gauge what these teams are going to be at the end of summer, like in a negative light, is really, really sus because like DRX won Worlds, right? What did we think of DRX? Except Jason Sandman, I will keep mentioning him. He lives in infamy. But DRX looking awful. But at the same time, maybe they can right the ship. They haven't lost to a bad team yet in LCK. And some people may say, why aren't Fred and Brian up here? They beat 2 bad teams. And frankly, until Fred and Brian plays a team that I think are better than them, and they win, I'm not going to move them up. Not to mention, I do have a little bit of a bias against Fred and Brian. 23rd is CFO Oyster. Not anything to say. PCS haven't played yet. I'm not going to bump teams out that haven't played yet. So the LCS teams are still here. They may have moved around a bit, but I'm not going to, CFO actually moves up 2 spots. Because really, in all actuality, there's nothing, you cannot say anything negative about the team that hasn't played yet, nor positively. So they're kind of just going to stay where they are. 22nd, new to the power rankings, are Mad Lions. They won 2 games they should have won, beating SK and Astralis. showing that they are better than the bottom tier teams in the LEC. They lost to Vitality. Vitality are very, very good. So Mad Lions definitely in that conversation for the 4th spot in the LEC very, very early on here. And we'll see what happens. I'm getting used to Chasey in top lane, and then the bot lane being as coin flip as it is. We saw yesterday getting freaky with the team splitting up the Lucian Nami bot lane. That really just threw everything off. But I think Mad Lions are a top 25 team right now. Next, at 21st, I have C9 moving up 2 spots. They haven't played yet, so like I said with CFO, we take this with a grain of salt. LCS hasn't played yet. Nothing negative can be said about a team you haven't watched. Nothing positive can be said about a team you haven't watched, really. So that's a thing. Just 1 second. Sorry about that break. The cat is running around. If you can't hear her, she's absolutely crazy and won't leave the room. So we're going to have to stick through it. Might have another break in here, finally kicking her out. But 19th and 20th, we have 2 VCS teams. Gen.G, formerly known as Saigon Buffalo, and GAM Esports. Still don't know GAM's a full official roster according to Leaguepedia. I'm sure somebody will tell me what the roster is rumored to be, but it is not official on the site that I use for information like that. So GAM, I assume, is going to be still very good. They'll probably get the best players. And Gen.G still are officially the same roster as Saigon Buffalo. I think that roster is going to get better. But that's just projecting because we still have not watched them play. 18th, EDG did not move. They beat Team Wii. EDG beat Team Wii 2-0. Team Wii is not very good. Even with Hope, they're not great. Leave looked good. Fofo looked good, but again, it's against Team Wii, so we have to take that for what it is. That's why they really didn't move up all that much. LNG 17th. Beat who'd they beat? What's it? Thunder Talk 2-0. Like I said, Thunder Talk kind of have a negative taste in my mouth. This board keeps moving. It's ticking me off. So LNG 17th. They're probably going to move up over time here as we get more games from the Western regions in. But right now, kind of what they are. Thunder Talk are awful, and LNG took advantage of it. I mean, there's not really much else to say about that. 16th, Koi. Dropping 1 spot. Oh, I dropped Gen.G 3 spots, by the way. I mean, they hadn't played, so I dropped them below LNG, EDG. Koi dropping 1 spot. I'm messing. Damn it. So, Koi beat BDS, XL, lost to Fnatic. There is an argument to be made that there was a winning condition against Fnatic. I know that we can say they lost from draft, and they might as well not even say they choked away the game or anything. I mean, then they lost in draft. But Koi, I think, are a solid team that probably goes to Worlds in the end because they are just a solid team. They're like, you think of 100 Thieves the last couple of years, just a team that on paper is good enough to get it done. Comp and Trimby are still extremely fantastic in the bot lane. Sure, you know, the picks might not always be great, but we know the players themselves are good. So Koi, 16th, 2-1, doing their thing. The biggest drop in this board is HLE to 15th. Dropping 10 spots. HLE look awful. Clid looks absolutely atrocious. Kingen was never great, but it's Zeka versus the world right now. And it was bad. The Freaks, they beat 2-0, but it was a rough 2-0, and the Freaks are not very good. Lost to Sandbox. That's not acceptable. HLE right now, 15th, only because they have Zeka and Viper in life. Really, like, it's just because of players that they're still where they are. Because if it was a team that was a little bit more sus that we can't project to get better, it would be a lot different. But Clid needs to get it together. This past few days here needs to be an opportunity for him to really refine how he's playing the game and to get better. Because, I mean, HLE are going to have to go find somebody off the street. You're thinking about Dread and Elam as 2 LCK junglers from last year that are unemployed right now. Honestly, HLE don't have a great challengers jungler, in my opinion, right now. So they have to go outside the org, at least from my perspective. 14th, TL did not move at all. I mean, I pretty much am saying TL is probably better than Koi with this one. I think that that's kind of what I'm saying here. But then again, like I said, can't say anything negative or positive about TL really because I haven't watched him play. It's hard to project against a team you haven't watched. Otherwise, you're just kind of like blowing smoke and throwing darts and hoping that one hits and then being like, oh, ignore all the ones I got wrong. I didn't say that. I didn't mean it. You know, I was trolling. Yeah, sure, you're trolling. Your life's a troll. 13th, IG. IG moving up, actually new. They're the highest team that's new to the power rankings. IG looked really good 2-0. YSKM looks like the real deal in top lane. The RNG win is why they got on this board. The Anyone's Legend win was really nice, given the fact that they were really actually using dual top laners. Dove was not playing. In Series 2, they played outstanding. Another 2-0 against RNG. RNG are no joke. I know right now, and we'll get to RNG, because RNG are still on this board, despite some struggles. You know, IG just, they did it. They did it in a big way. Dove was very good. You think about Dove and how he was a couple of years back, he was solid in mid. He wasn't great, but he was solid. Role swap to top lane, that didn't go very well for him. But returning to mid, he's okay. And bot lane's actually doing well. Link seems to be getting the job done. And that's a big deal, because some people think is actually pretty good. So IG 13th, we'll see if they can continue to keep it up. 12th are FlyQuest, moving down 2 spots. Haven't watched him play, but I think this is indicative of how I feel about G2 and Vitality, more so than how I feel about FlyQuest. Yeah, it's more so how I feel about Vitality and G2 right now. Now that I have seen players play some games that I hadn't seen before, now I can make some sort of little scratching the surface judgment on what a player is, instead of just projecting based off of games I didn't watch. 11th, Vitality. Moving up, how many spots? 11. So they second biggest mover, IG technically the most. Vitality, very talented. Bo looks legit. Perks is playing very well on Azir. The bot lane has been okay, solid, and Photon looks very good in top lane. A little bit aggressive, but then again, he's young, hasn't played at this level for very long, aka just one weekend, so we'll see how he does going forward. When teams get a book on them, now they've played 3 games. This whole week, teams are now going to be scrimming and trying to figure out ways to stop Vitality, and eventually, I'll get to G2 on here, and stop G2 and things like that. And next week will be adjustment time. Can Vitality adjust? Can these players adjust? Different drafts. We're seeing some very interesting things in the LEC. Not as stale of drafts as we've been seeing in the LCK and LPL. So Vitality, 11th place, doing very well. 10th place, BLG, dropping 1 spot. So BLG losing to JDG 2-1 is not a problem, right? Like I said when I was saying earlier with DRX, losing to a team up here when you're not necessarily at that level is fine. BLG I had 9th. They dropped to 10th, losing to JDG 2-1. But they did beat Team Weave. So they did beat a team that is worse than them. They barely lost to a team that was probably better than them. So BLG still trying to work it out and get it together. Bin, obviously fantastic. June, leaving a lot to be desired. Yagao, picking Talia because his champion pool stinks. Not good. Yagao is looking a little out of place without Kanavi. And the bot lane's a little sus. This is a team that if they had money, I wish they would go after Ming. If Ming was alongside Elk in bot lane, BLG probably moves up to up here. That team would be really good. Like with Bin, Bin is disgusting. So 9th place, G2. G2 3-0, moving up 5 spots. Or 4 spots, I don't know which. We'll go with 5. I don't remember if they were 15th or 14th last week. Yike looks really, really, really good. And people are saying he's good, but I'm like, I didn't watch him play. I'm not going to say anything until I watch him to make my opinion myself. And he looks really good. That Kindred game was absolutely disgusting. XL, Fnatic, Astralis, the 3 wins. You know, they're not elite wins. Fnatic, I guess, is probably the best win out of those 3, but they are dominant wins. Like, they are not playing games. The draft yesterday against Astralis was very interesting. Karma and Zach being in there. Definitely something that needs to be respected. Bo showing that he can play dogs and carries. Oh, geez, sorry. Bo, I'm mixing. Bo is doing that, by the way. I didn't mention his Vitality. Yike playing carries at a very high level with the Kindred and the Zach and the Karma yesterday. Just absolutely fantastic. Yike looks cracked, and I think I'm gonna be mixing up Yike and Bo a lot this year. I might try and become the #1 fan club for Yike, only because so many people are just absolutely loving Bo to a degree that almost gets a little sus, you know, a little too much. But at the same time, kidding, of course. But the thing is, like, you know, I think Yike deserves a lot of credit for the ability he's playing, for his ability and the level he's playing at. I think it also has to be kept in mind that. So some people really think 113 is really, really bad. And I thought 113 looked okay. I think he looks better than Zanzara did last year with, you know, Astralis and Spring. So the thing is, it's like, I think 113 and Shea with Astralis and BDS are going to get really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they're just, I don't know, like, people are going to give them a lot of garbage and say they're really, really bad and compare them to Yike and Bo, and they are not Yike and Bo. 113 is like 18 years old. He is still like, 113 should not be in the LEC. He is, and this is just the matter of life. But the fact is, he does, you know, he does show some promise and make some mistakes. That's what an 18-year-old is going to do, especially on a bad team that cannot cover for his mistakes. But this is not about 113. This is about G2. And Yike looks absolutely fantastic. Caps is looking very good. His Zach game yesterday was super impactful. But that's it for our Western teams. Now we get to the teams that could win. Like, this row here are the teams that, yeah, I could see them maybe making a run. 8th place, RNG. Did not move. And this is going to be like, why is RNG on here? They look awful. Well, I said it when I did this, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not taking RNG out of where they are until I see them with Angel. Angel is a lot better than Tangwan, and Angel is a very good player. Is he absolutely fantastic? No, but he's a lot better than an LDL mid. And, you know, they lost to IG 2-0, and IG here. IG could be legit. We'll find out this after LPL comes back. But RNG won 2-0 against OMG, so it's a very, very good showing in that regard. Bunny is not great, though. That is a problem that they're going to run into, is the fact that they don't have a support. Lamau might be a cheap option if Ming is not coming back there. A lot of people want to say, oh, well, Ming said he's coming back after Chinese New Year, this and that. It's like, okay, I've read that. I've seen RNG say that he was coming back, and then Ming respond and say, I am a free agent. That I saw. So maybe Ming changed his mind since then. I don't know the timeline, but that was all I've seen so far. 7th place, Gen.G moving up 5 spots. And this is kind of projecting a bit, but I think Gen.G might be, this is extremely a bold thing to do, but I think Pays is actually pretty good. Some people really don't like how he blew the game against T1 after they gave him so many resources. But I thought Pays actually did carry that game a bit. In the end, lost. But I didn't think he looked that bad. I think Pays looked good in the second series when they beat DRX. I think he's fine. So it's going to be a matter of, like, are they as good as last year? No. So people are going to, like, keep comparing them to last year. But that's, like, the degenerate thought. Like, you can't be comparing them to last year. That Ruler and Pays are not the same. But Pays needs to just progress and get better. And I think that 7th is indicative of where I think they can get to. Because there isn't always a ton of movement up here because the teams have to play each other to get movement, really. And because they're always winning. So that's a thing. 6th place, KT. KT 1-1 this past week, moving up 2 spots. They look really good in the games they're playing. They should have probably beaten T1. They lost 2-1, but they were in a position to win in Game 2 to win 2-0, and that's a big deal. They look very good. They also did beat Nongshim 2-1, and that wasn't that great. They lost to Nongshim in Game 1, and you saw in Games 2 and 3, though, the response by KT and the clear showing of what KT is actually capable of, and I think it was more so they took Nongshim for granted. They thought they stunk. And they paid the price for that. So KT are 6th. I think that they are looking very good. 5th place, we have Top Esports. Top Esports lost to Weibo 2-1. So they dropped 2 spots. 3 spots, sorry, because they were second. And we'll just, because we're talking about these teams at the same time, Weibo moves up above top because they won. We're just going to talk about this series together because why not? Yeah, moved up 2. HLE were between them before. HLE is not there anymore. So King Tian's got to come out of the lineup. Wayward needs to go back in there. That's a problem for top. I think I might have said it. I thought it. I might have posted on Discord or something. With King Tian in the lineup, top are not second or third place in the world anymore. King Tian is not at the level of the Shy or 369 at all. Wayward isn't either, but I give Wayward a lot more leeway as progressing and getting better because he's a rookie last year versus King Tian, who's been around for a couple of years now. Top lost. I mean, it's as simple as that. Top lost. Weibo played good. Karsa was very impactful. Sticks out to me. I made him MVP, I believe, because of how well he helped Light and Crisp recover. A lot of people give Light credit for that win, but I felt like Karsa was the reason that they even got back into that game that Caitlin Lane was losing after being killed. So, Weibo looking good. They've got a couple veterans on that team. Karsa, like I said, Karsa knowing, hey, I need to go bot lane is a thing that a veteran will do. Like, actually read, this is what I'm going to do. Like, it was a good play by Karsa. So, Weibo doing well. The Shy in game 2 with Nidalee. What are you going to do? I don't need to say how I feel about that much. JDG third. They're just staying where they are. They beat BLG 2-1. Good team. Ruler pentakill already. They gave it to him. I will say they gave it to him a bit cringe. Nevertheless, he got it. JDG are very good. Kanavi found the sword playing dogs. Was not expecting that, but he did. And JDG are legit. So they're going to stay up there until they lose pretty much. I don't really have much to say outside of the fact that they are really, really good. Knight playing outstanding in his first series with JDG. Just a very, very good all-star team. Like, that is just a super team. Now, we get to a team that isn't a super team, but we all know is very good. Dplus. Dplus. As in, they get a D+ for the name. That was awful. Sandbox 2-0, DRX 2-0. Very clean wins. Canyon going bot lane, getting Deft and Kellen in a good position, and Deft and Kellen running with it and winning the game. Showmaker playing good. Kano's playing his game. D+ are very good. They're very good. They do not have an all-star roster like JDG, but you know what? All-star rosters don't win all the time. Frankly, they don't win the majority of the time. Usually it's a team that wins. DRX, a team that wins. Like, it's a team. Everybody needs to have their role. Not everybody can be the star. Now, that's why JDG with Kanavi playing dogs is a big deal. Somebody has to do it and be okay with that. Damwon, D+, very good. Very good. The bot lane's looking very good, but we'll see how the meta shifts. We'll see how these players, shift along the way. But, best jungler in the world, top 3 mid laner in the world. Deft is playing very good. Kellen's playing good. Khan's playing good. Like, they are a complete team doing very well. And similar to last year, this is just the deal. First place stays first place until they lose. So T1, first place. Beat Gen.G 2-0, beat KT 2-1. And like I said, they probably should have lost to KT, but you know what? They didn't. They won. So they're up there. Sometimes teams have to find a way to win, and T1 did. Winning against Gen.G 2-0, it wasn't the cleanest, but they got it done. Drafts are very sus for this team. Benji is very inexperienced as a coach. And we saw it at Worlds. I've said this before, that at Worlds, he definitely left a lot to be desired. And that's because of inexperience. It's not his fault, really. He's been thrust into a situation where he is doing drafts at the highest level of play, and he's just getting out-drafted. He really is. He has not identified how to pick for his team to give them the best chance to win at the highest level of play. And they do win games, but it's not clean and not in the way that they should. So, I guess he does put them in a position to win, but it's not like the optimal way, and I feel like it leaves a lot out there. So that's it for my top 25 power rankings. If you go on the Discord, and I just thought about doing this, I have to do this. So that'll come out eventually today. I don't think it's going to come out right away, but I will have my complete power rankings on there under extra content. I just have to do it. So that'll come out today. That'll come out today, I hope. Okay, I'm not going to promise that. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to try and get it out today. If not, it'll come out tomorrow. It will come out the next 2 days. There's not enough. There's no games today, so there's this and then the top performers video and the roundup. So I have 3 videos today, so we'll see. Nevertheless, if you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube member so I can keep doing this. This type of video is a video that'll suffer. If I have to, go with the likeliest outcome with this channel, which is continue to do videos, but unable to do the research necessary to do it at the level of which I am. A lot of the opinion will be thrown out for algorithmic related stats, and that'll be what it is. So if that happens, that happens. Not guilting you. That's just the reality of life. So $3 a month supports me so I can try and keep the channel alive. And you get a badge in the comment section when you comment, or you're in the chat if I'm live viewing. $10 a month, you get that badge, and you also get extra content, including my predictions. I'm 29-8 on the year, 3rd in the Discord on predictions. So if you want my predictions, that's at the $10 tier. There will be a video later tonight predicting tomorrow's LCK game. So if that interests you, that'll be there, and thank you for watching.